Hi everybody. Hello. Happy Hump Day. Ooh, what's going on? All right. I think I may need to get a new computer. I've been just looking at, how the way my computer has been reacting, right? And I think it may be time. Anyway, fingers crossed. So hello everyone. Welcome to another live stream. It is day 3. All right, and if you are seeing me for the first time, if you don't know who I am, if you're catching me on the replay, my name is Waveney. I am a leadership mindset coach. Let me do this. Let me close all these other tabs. I am a leadership mindset coach, and I help new managers with their mindset, their communication, and their work relationships. And I realized that all week when I've introduced myself, I've said who I was, what I do, who I was and my title, but not really how I help. So yes, I am a leadership mindset coach, and I help new managers or leaders in general with their mindset, work relationships, and communication. So welcome. And if you've been joining me all week, whether you're catching me on the replay or you are joining me live, thank you so much. And so you know that each day I'm sharing with you a learning, a teaching, a little training, and then I share with you the product or the service I provide that can help you with that. And so Monday I spoke a little bit about me. I spoke a little bit about my pivot into the people's brand. If you don't know, on Saturday, I didn't even realize on Saturday, people's brand will be celebrating 6 years. 6 years that I pressed that button and I went live, so to speak, with the world, that I introduced the brand to the world, right? I'm very excited about that. And so I shared with you a little bit about mindset. Do I have my notes? I think I do. Yeah, I did. So I shared with you a little bit why I went into the mindset work. And it's so funny because I've been doing it, right? I've been doing it unconsciously. I've been talking about mindset in my content, in my training programs, in my coaching programs. I always start off with mindset. When I am facilitating in person, I also introduce mindset into the equation, right? And so I am delving into that a little bit more so I can have more tools to help you to be the best version of yourself, to be the influential leader that I know that you are, and I know that is waiting to emerge. And so this evening the topic is called your model of reality. Your model of reality. And this concept is taken from the mindset work. So each of us has a way we perceive the world. We have our own model of reality. Sometimes we think, and I'm jumping ahead, so let me look at my notes so I don't jump ahead, right? Sometimes we think that things in our personal life and professional lives will get better if we, and I've heard this a lot, if I move to another job, things will get better. Lots of people say that. I am sure that you have heard a person say that. Drop an emoji in the comments if you've heard someone say, I think I'm going to change job. I think that this issue is going to go away, right? You've heard that. I've heard that. Sometimes we think that it'll be better if we get a different job, if we move, maybe relocate, different country, if we get a different manager, if we get a different team, if we get a different partner, if we didn't have certain things to deal with, we feel that our world will be different, and this is something that is so ingrained in people's mind, and they actually think that this is the truth, right? We all do it in some way, shape, or form, and many of us are entrenched in those emotions. Many of us, like, this is what we really believe, like, if this thing were to go away, that it will be so much better for us, right? And here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with that. The problem with that is that this is something, it's always something that is external. It is always something that is outside of us. It's always something that we are dependent on. It is what we call being in effect, right? It's always the effect of the thing or the result of a thing. Like, we're never at cause, but we're always in effect, right? And let me tell you, let me give you a secret, and let me come really close for this secret that I'm about to drop on you. This is a lie. This is a lie. So if you think it is a lie, I know, let's have a moment right now, but it is a lie. If you think that whatever it is outside you will change whatever is going on, that if this thing were to happen, if this person were to go away, if this change were to happen outside of you, if you think that by this thing going away that it's going to change anything, that is a lie. Now, there's this gentleman, his name is Dr. Wayne, his name was Dr. Wayne Dyer. He died now. He wrote many books, really great bestsellers. You can find him on YouTube and so forth. And he says, when we change the way we look at things, the things that we look at will change. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at will change. And this is what he's referring to. He is referring to our model of reality. And our model, let me explain. Each of us, all of us, can have the same experience. Like, we can all go to dinner, right? We go out to dinner, all of us together, having a great time, and at the end of that dinner party, we all have different experiences. That is our model of reality. I might say I had a fabulous time. You might say it was so boring. Someone else might say, I don't even know why I was here. Did you hear such and such saying? They may be focusing on something that is like highly negative, but all of us will have a different version of that dinner party, and it's the same in leadership. It is our model of reality. So let me just give you a little crash course, and this is important for you to understand. It's important for you to understand, and this is something new that I am introducing into my coaching before I coach people, because it's important. And you're just happening to be the first, right, experiencing it. This is important, because when you get this, the way you look at circumstances will change. You no longer will feel like you are in effect, like there's nothing that you can do about it. When we talk about effect, you just feel like, okay, this is the result and there's nothing I can do. You will feel like you're at cause, like you have some control, because you do have control. We all do. And so, our model of reality. So this is really what happens to all of us, right? We experience the world with our 5 senses. I know I have about 10 hands, but our 5 senses. Just pretend there's 5 over here for Instagram and 5 over here for Facebook, right? But we experience the world through our 5 senses. We see, we taste, we touch, we smell, we hear. Yeah, that's it, right? See, touch, hear, smell, taste. And we experience the world through those senses, right? All or some or whatever. And but then what happens is that um, things get deleted, right? We filter out information because our brains are not designed to take on every single little bit of information. Think about it. Think about it right now. I'm going to bring your attention. Right now, wherever you are, if you're at home, if you're in your bedroom, maybe you have the fan on, maybe you have the AC on. Now that I'm bringing it to your attention, you can hear it, right? So imagine that you were to become aware of everything that's going on, every sound that's going on. You're listening to this live stream, your fan is on, your AC is on, maybe the television is on in another room, maybe you can hear people outside on the street, maybe you can hear the humming of your computer. Like me right now, I'm live streaming from my laptop. I can hear, now I'm talking about it, I can hear the humming of my laptop. Imagine if you were to become aware of everything. So that's just the hearing part of it, right? So imagine if you could just become aware of every single color, right? Imagine if you could become aware of the smell. Like right now, when I talk about smelling, I was just burning some incense, right? I was just burning some incense. Imagine if all this was happening, we would go crazy. It would be too much. Overwhelmed would not be able to describe it. And so we experience the world through our five senses. Information gets deleted because our brains are doing that subconsciously, consciously, subconsciously. Things get deleted, things get distorted, and things get generalized. And so this is happening to us in every single situation, right? And this is how information gets. And then the information, and just to remind you, I'm talking about our model of reality. This is how we experience, this is how we internalize events and situations. And this is why two people are able to go to the same thing or grow up in the same household, work for the same company, and have completely different experiences. So we see, smell, taste, and touch. Things, the information comes in, it gets deleted, distorted, it gets generalized, and then what further impacts it and makes it into experiences, it's the time, right? It's the location where we are, it's the mood, it's the language, it's the memories that we have, right? It's the decisions that we've made, it's the beliefs, it's our values, what's important to us, it's our identity. If you don't believe me, think about this. If your friend, your phone was to ring right now, and your friend calls you up and they're like, hey girl, or hey guy, or whatever, however, hey buddy, whatever men say to each other, right? I wanted to share blah 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 blah, and they're telling you something, right? It's what? It's 6:45 where I am, right? Everything would be cool, right? But imagine your phone rings 3 o'clock in the morning and your girlfriend is trying to tell you something. It's a different experience, right? 3 o'clock in the morning and you're calling me to tell me about something that could wait, right? That's just a simple example of how information comes in, how it gets deleted, distorted, generalized, and how especially our these systems that we have internally are affected, like time. And so this is happening all the time. This is happening all the time. Every experience from since we were children, babies, growing up, this is how we are going through the world, and this forms our model of reality. These things become our experience, these things impact our behavior, they impact our thoughts, they impact our results. And again, like I said, which is why two people can work for the same company, two people can have the same boss, and one love the person and the other dislikes them, right, for whatever reason. And so I want to give you an example. I gave you one earlier, but I want to give you an example closer to what I'm talking about. So you may have someone who is working at an organization, and I'm sure all of us, you can relate. Maybe you are that person, I'm not judging, or maybe you have a friend who is that way, and they've been working at a place for 10 years, for example, for quite some time. They have some longevity under their belt, right? And they're complaining that everybody else is moving up in the organization except them. So they're just complaining, everybody else is getting promoted. All my friends, they're working here, there, and they're getting promoted. I'm not getting promoted. Well, let's peel this back and look at what quite possibly could be their model of reality. When you peel back the layers, right, the information is coming into them, they're experiencing it. They've been at the organization there for 10 years and they're not moving. So what is happening? The information is coming through their five senses. Things are getting generalized, deleted, and distorted. And based on a belief, based on a memory, right? Based on a belief or based on experience or memory that they may have, they may feel like people who have longevity under their belt, they're supposed to automatically get promoted. And I am sure you know people like that. I mean, the world is different. A long time ago, the thing, and it's still a thing in the Caribbean, it's not so much in but it's changing now, right? I remember a few years back, like when I started in the working world, if you change jobs too often, and even now there's a stigma behind it, right? People think if you stay in a job like 2 years and you try to move, your parents would try to tell you, like, what are you doing, why are you moving? It was looked on as a bad thing. Whereas if you stayed at an organization for a length of time, 10 years, it's like it's a good thing and you got rewarded with a promotion. And so this may be that person's model of reality. They may have a belief that when you stay at places a bit longer, you should get promoted. But because this isn't happening for them, it's not happening to them, they're complaining, they're acting out, they're having an attitude. And what they're not realizing, and this is where the deleted, distorted, and generalized information, what they may not recognize is the opportunity where their boss asks, hey, do you want to be on this project? Hey, do you want to go on this training? Do you want to take on more work? They'll say no. In this day and age, that may be an indication to their boss that they are not interested. That is their boss's model of reality. That is maybe the way things are, right? But the way their model of reality is that, hey, I've been here for 10 years and I should be rewarded. And the more they act out, the more they have an attitude, they don't realize that it pushes them further and further away from their opportunity. Let me know if this makes sense. I'm trying to simplify it and give you a simple example. So every time they say no to the opportunity, every time they say no to more work, every time they say no to more opportunities, as I like to call it, it pushes them further away to be promoted. And so this becomes a pattern, it becomes a loop. And this person will continue along that path until probably they call up the people's brand, they book a mindset mapping session, and I'm able, through questioning, to loosen that model of reality that they may have. And that is what a good coach does, right? Why am I telling you all this? I'm telling you all this because at the beginning I asked you a question. I asked if you knew someone, or maybe you are that person that you think that if this thing changes, if you move, if you get a new boss, if you get a new partner, if whatever, you relocate, that everything will change. And the answer is no. And this is why it doesn't matter if you change jobs, bosses, you relocate to Timbuktu, right? You get a new partner, you move in another department. It doesn't matter if you do that, because you're moving with yourself. You're moving with yourself, and you're moving with your own model of reality. And if that doesn't get loosened, if that doesn't get deconstructed, if you are not open enough, and if you're not aware enough, and if you don't take feedback, or if you don't get coaching, people don't ask you the right questions, we walk around with a model of reality that is not working for us. That is not working for us. It isn't working for us. I'll give you another example, a quick example of people's model of reality. Think about someone, and maybe you have worked with someone or heard about someone that takes everything personally. If you have to challenge them, and challenge doesn't mean like in a negative way, in a combative way, but if you disagree with them, they take it as something. It's either this week or last week, somebody was giving me a story about their boss, and that this is the way their boss is, because they were telling me something, and I was like, okay, the HR in me, the coach in me, like, well, why don't you bring this up? Why don't you have a conversation? And that person didn't want to have the conversation, because then it would turn into a confrontation. The person would take it a type of way, and they had enough evidence of that happening before, and they just didn't want to go through it. It's really sad how managers and leaders can do that to people, and sometimes I feel like it's innocent, like they really don't know. But back to my point, and the reason why I think they do this is being aggressive, especially overly aggressive, is a sign of a trauma response. Being overly aggressive, and you know this because have you ever had an interaction with someone that it's a simple disagreement, but they operate as if they had to defend for their life? That's a trauma response. That is a trauma response, right? They take everything as an attack. It's like they're ready for war, and you're like, whoa, like, where is this coming from, right? Another way, and that's that person's model of reality, and it could stem from the fact that they've had to defend themselves. It could stem from the fact that they had to fight, right? And so they're in that state all the time. So whenever they hear something that is contrary to what they believe or what have you, it triggers them, right? And I'm not making excuses for people, but it happens, okay? It could be something as simple as a tone of voice, or a phrase people use, and it sends you off the deep end. This again is a model of reality. Your model of reality. And if we are not mindful as leaders, we go into workplaces and workspaces, and we manage people, and we, they pay the price. We pay the price too, because then we become an ineffective leader. We become someone who develops a bad reputation, and it doesn't work out well for them and for us. I'm not saying that you're not going to make mistakes, because everybody makes mistakes. The thing is to always want to learn and always keep growing. You have to have a growth mindset. If you think that you're going to come into leadership and you're not going to make mistakes, I will tell you that is a lie. You're going to make mistakes. I make mistakes. The key is you have to learn from your mistakes. What can you do better? One last thing I want to mention as well, people pleasers. You have managers that are people pleasers, and this is how they show up. They show up in a way that they don't like to hold people accountable. You go to them, you have a complaint, you have a concern. It could be about making, it could be about the job, making it easier. It could be about another coworker. It could be about another department that, you're struggling with some challenges, and they do nothing. People pleasing. They just want to be liked. They lean in more to people liking them than to being respected and holding people accountable. And this is also a trauma response. It is a trauma response because they have learned that in order to feel safe, they have to people please. They have to, and this is why people pleasing is so dangerous, because you do it often, you don't even know yourself. You have no identity. So people pleasing is really, really detrimental to your sense of self and well-being, right? So detrimental. And so all of this, saying all of that, this is the learning, this is your model, this is how our model of reality is formed. All right. And so how could I support you with that? And I find this work so interesting because, like I always say, you are not two different people. I don't get to be waving at home, and then when I go on my 9 to 5, I'm somebody else. It doesn't work that way. You're the same person. You bring I was taking a class once, and they had this saying that I absolutely love. You bring the weather, you bring you everywhere you go. Doesn't matter what changes, you bring you wherever you go. And the only way that you showing up will make a difference is if you actively try to work on yourself, you actively try to be better, you learn from your mistakes, you embrace a growth mindset. And so how can I support you? So previously I had what you call career coaching sessions. I've changed that to mindset mapping sessions. And mindset mapping sessions are just that. Sometimes we are so stuck in the details. Sometimes we are in the overwhelm, right? Sometimes we need clarity. Sometimes we need clarity, especially when we are in the trenches of leadership. I think it was last year, I had one of my clients called me. She was experiencing some challenges with someone that she was leading, and that person, I could understand that person was a bit difficult. And she's like, Wave, I really need to understand. This is what I wanted, this is what happened, this is what I want to do. And she laid it out to me, and I said to her, why would you want to do that? I said, I understand you're upset, I understand, but why are you, what benefit? What is the benefit? I said, you're operating in your ego. What is the benefit? What is the benefit of it? What is the benefit? And she couldn't think of anything, and she's like, you're absolutely right, I needed that. That is what a coach does. That is what a coach does. We don't give you the answers all the time, but we ask questions to facilitate that. We mentor and we guide as well, because I may have a story, I may have examples, I may have situations. Like I mentioned, I've been in leadership for over 18 years. I've been in HR for over 18 years, and I've been in the industry that I'm in for 20 years, right? And I've had my share of experiences, and sometimes you need that. You need to have someone who is way ahead, steps ahead, that can help you make sense of the situation. And so mindset mapping sessions, you need clarity. Sometimes you need clarity on a situation. You need to get clear. You're so much in the details, you don't know what's going on. You need to get clear. Sometimes you need to set a goal. I have a client currently, and she was experiencing some challenges at work, and when we got done with the session, I don't think it was about work, but we came up with a plan, right? We came up with a plan. I don't know if I would call it an exit plan, but we came up with a plan, and that plan, I would say, is her savior and her anchor until she leaves, because sometimes you do need to leave, right? But in the meantime, before you leave, if you're in that type of an environment, what do? You can't drive yourself crazy. You can't uh, get out of a job because you have response. So what do you do? Sometimes you need to set a goal and have that as an anchor to pull you through, right? Mindset mapping sessions. And sometimes you do know what the goal is, but you need a clear action plan. I help with that. And so mindset mapping sessions help you move from being stuck to success. That's what, stuck to success. And so that is why I changed the name, because there are more tools that are going to be given there, more mindset tools. Because once you understand what is going on, once you understand that you are not at effect, right, you are at cause. Once you understand that you control your outcome, you control your outcome. I know probably you've heard this before, but you control the outcome. Things are happening in your life, situations are happening. It's all about how you react, and it's all about bringing to your awareness those patterns, those beliefs, those thoughts that do not serve you, that help really draw you into that particular situation. You are not at effect. You are at cause. You are the cause. You control the outcome, and that is what mindset mapping sessions are about. Because it's not about how gifted or talented you are. If that were the case, look at all the people that you went to school with that were to the front of the class. Today I was telling someone that, think of all the people that were to the front of the class. To the front of the class, raising their hand, wanting to be right, arguing for marks. Where are they now, right? It's not about how gifted or how talented you are. It's about your mindset. It's about your mindset. I don't know if you've ever heard that. It's about your mindset. That is why you see people that come from humble beginnings, or people that are dirt poor, and you have stories of them being billionaires, or they're so successful. It's not about talent. It's about your mindset. And the quicker you understand this, the much better your life will become, the more in control you will feel, because you will understand what is going on. And I'm a firm believer, if I understand what's going on, I'm able to manage it a little bit better. It might be 100%, but you're able to manage it a little bit better. So mindset mapping sessions, if you're on Instagram, the links in my bio, I will list it also below. If you're on Facebook, I will list it also below. There's a link to my calendar. There are 2-hour sessions. There are 2-hour sessions, and you can either get clarity, set a goal, or create a plan around whatever is going on. In those sessions, I first go through the model of reality, because it's important for people to understand that. It's important for understand the principles of a success that's operating in their life. And we talk a little bit about the subconscious mind, because trust me, there are many things that we do after we consciously learn to do it. Our subconscious mind kicks in, and it's the reason why we do what we do. It's the reason why you end up to work. You're driving to work, you end up to work, you have no recollection of how you get there. You're going to the supermarket, it's like putting in a GPS. Your mind knows you're going to the supermarket. You end up at the supermarket and you don't even know how you get there. You are not thinking, but subconsciously you're driving, you're getting there. Our subconscious mind drives the bus, and it's important that we understand the role that it plays in our life. It's important that we help it, we get it to work for us, so that we are successful. So we talk a little bit about that, and then we get into the session, right? And so those are mindset mapping sessions. If this is something that you think that you could benefit, not that you think, I think that you would benefit from it, schedule a mindset mapping session. And this is a perfect time, really, because we're getting into half of the year, like the 6th month of the year. We have 6 more months to go. I know I'm getting ahead. June starts on Saturday, and what's gonna happen for the other 6 months? Why not do something different to change the trajectory of your career? Why not do something different to change the trajectory of your life, right? Why not do something different? I believe in coaching. I love coaching. I have a coach as we speak. I spoke to her today. Great session, because even though I'm doing coaching, I need a coach. I need someone, and it's not therapy. It's not therapy. Coaching is not therapy. It is not that, because you have to take action. You have to, you know, you're responsible. Like I keep saying, you drive the bus. You have to take action. And so schedule your mindset mapping session, and let's work together. Let's change your life. Let's change your life. Let's change your mindset. Let's help you to see things differently. Let's help loosen that model of reality that you have. Let's help loosen that, because many of the things that we think, these are things that our parents told us. We just kind of accepted it. We just kind of accepted it as the truth, but it's no longer working for us. When you see that in your life that something is no longer working, it's time to start questioning your beliefs, what's going on, your model of reality. It's time to start questioning things. And so I can help you with that. I am really excited about this journey, about this pivot, about this mindset aspect, because I've seen it work in my own life. I don't think that I would have been as successful as I am if I did not really pay attention to mindset, and if I wasn't as intentional about, you know, what I read, what I see, what I believe, and also allow myself to really loosen the things that I thought was working for me that no longer served me. And you would hear people say that there are things, there are beliefs that we have that no longer serve us, that we need to replace with new beliefs, empowering beliefs about ourselves, so that we can go out and make a difference. Because at the end of the day, it's about it betters you, it betters the people around you, and you leave an impact, you leave a legacy, you leave something great in the world. Like I keep saying, you don't have to be popular, you don't have to be famous, you don't have to have a Grammy, you don't have to be a sports star. God forbid, you don't have to be P. Diddy. Right? To make a difference. That's just a bad joke. Anyway, to make a difference in this world, you can make a difference where you are, just where you are, who you are, doing, you know, just getting better, just challenging yourself, having a growth mindset, being uniquely you, having a growth mindset, and just making a difference in this world, and making a difference to the people that you need and the people around you. You can. It's possible. So thank you so much for tuning in. Share this out with your bestie, and I look forward to coaching you in one of my mindset mapping sessions. Bye.